Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to MTGO Traders. My name is Taryn, and let's talk about Selesnya Elves in Guilds of Ravnica Standard. So I feel like almost all of the content creators have hit on green-white in some form or fashion, and I have yet to do that, but I'm going to do that today with Selesnya Elves. Selesnya Elves is all about gaining lots of momentum by playing lots of creatures really quickly and drawing a lot of cards in a single turn, and kind of overwhelming your opponent by turn 5, 4, kind of in that range. And just having lots of value creatures over and over again that kind of stack on top of each other, making your entire board state more powerful. But of course, before we get into the video, make sure to like it if you like it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and make sure to hit that bell to notify you when we have a new video coming up on the channel. And let me know in the comments down below what deck you want me to cover next. I always appreciate everyone commenting and, of course, giving us ideas for the next deck to cover. So let's jump right into the deck tech, guys, starting with, of course, our creatures. I'm going to have the deck right below me, the full deck list, so that way it's the entire video. So if someone's like, where's the deck list? There's a link in the description as well as being on the screen. So we'll also do this and then go into some matches as well. But let's talk about our creatures here. We've got Lanowar Elves, complete 4 of. This is our mana ramper, our turn 1 play, a 1/1 for green elf. Very good, very solid. Always want to put this in an elf deck for sure if you got it in standard. Next up, we've got Pelt Collector. This is a new card from Guilds of Ravnica, a 1 green mana 1/1 elf warrior. Whenever another creature you control enters the battlefield or dies, if that creature's power is greater than Pelt Collector's, put a +1/+1 counter on Pelt Collector. And as long as Pelt Collector has 3 or more +1/+1 counters on it, it has trample. So the interesting thing here is that it might be a turn 2 play, and you might actually not get off a couple triggers on this card for a few turns, but whenever you have a large board state and your opponent kind of is starting to wipe your board state with removal spells and that kind of stuff, they may have some triggers where they try to kill something that's very powerful, and Pelt Collector gets stronger because of that. So very interesting dynamic here with Pelt Collector. Really do like it in the early game, and very good in the mid to late game, and kind of a bomb in the late game if it's been on the field for a while. Next up here for us, we've got Elvish Clancaller. This is of course, our lord for the set here. A 2 green mana 1/1 elf druid. Other elves you control get +1/+1. You can also pay 6 and tap it and search for another Clancaller from your deck and put it on the battlefield. So there's kind of this domino effect where if your opponent doesn't deal with the Clancaller, you just have more Clancallers piling on top of each other, and it's kind of amazing because turning from a +1/+1 into a +4/+4 within like 4 turns is ridiculous. And we also have lots of ways to actually give us some even more mana so we can get out 2 Clancallers in a single turn. I actually did that during one of the matches in testing as well. So Clancaller, very good. If opponent doesn't have removal for it, they're going to need removal for it as soon as possible. Next up for us, we've got Imara, Soul of the Accord. This is another Guilds of Ravnica card, a 2 mana 2/2 elf cleric. Whenever it becomes tapped, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token with lifelink. Really wish this was an elf soldier instead of just a soldier. That would be really nice and convenient, but sadly it is not. But it does give us lifelink, which is really good in the mid to late game against like another grindy matchup where opponent is kind of attacking and we're attacking and we're kind of trading blows back and forth. Making lifelinkers is actually quite good, because it means we can actually block and still gain some life, which is very, very nice for us. Also, love the art on Imara, of course. Next up, we've got Thorn Lieutenant, a 2 mana 2/3 rare elf warrior. Whenever it becomes target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, create a 1/1 green elf warrior creature token. So this is actually super nice. Not going to talk about the second ability just yet. This is super nice because if an opponent has removal for this, which they will want to have in the mid to late game if we have the mana to pump for it, then we're still going to get a 1/1 off of it. So a 2/3 turning into maybe a 1/1 that's being pumped by 2 other lords. I think that's worth it especially. But we also have this pump on top, which is pay 6. It gets +4/+4 until end of turn. And keep in mind, we have lots of ways to tap for mana in this deck, which means we could possibly pump this twice. So if opponent does not block the Thorn Lieutenant, they may be in a world of hurt, taking maybe a possible 6 damage or even 10 damage if they don't block it, and we have the mana. Next up for us, we've got Marwyn the Nurturer, a 3 mana 1/1 rare. This is how you get a lot of mana here. Whenever another elf enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on the Nurturer. You can also tap this at any amount of green equal to Marwyn's powers. So that's equal to her power, not equal to how many counters she has on her, which is very important because of cards like Vanquisher's Banner and of course the Clancaller within the deck. So pumping her as a 2/2 with a Clancaller on turn 3 when she's being played means that she will be able to tap for 2 mana on the following turn because she's 2 power. So very, very good for us and gives us a lot of mana in the mid to late game. Again, if they don't deal with the Nurturer, then they just kind of deal with this domino effect of us being able to just steamroll them on the board state. Next up for us, we've got Steel Leaf Champion. You know what's in here? It's one of the best green cards. It's also an elf, so upside for us here. A 3 mana 5/4 Elf Knight. Can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less, so very powerful for us. Always very huge, always a huge threat really going in. And of course, can't be blocked by power 2 or less, which usually means it's going to come in and hit at least once before opponent has a good removal spell for it on their turn, on turn 3. So this is a huge threat, and making it also larger with Clan Caller and Vanquisher's Banner. It's what else can you ask for? This card is ridiculous. And last up here, we've got 4 Beast Whisper. This is a card for us that draws us tons of cards. A 4 mana 2/3 Elf Druid. Whenever you cast a creature spell, draw a card. I really love this card because it means that if they don't deal with a Beast Whisper, which is only a 2/3, which is that's not that much, honestly. And for 4 mana, that's actually kind of almost bad. But if they don't deal with the Beast Whisper, then you have a creature in hand, then you can just start to snowball and turn into this situation where you have a ton of elves on the battlefield just because you have the mana to cast them. Your Morrowind might actually be a huge threat now. You might get out multiple Clan Callers thanks to the Whisper. It's just a really huge threat that opponent has to deal with, or if they don't, then they may see a ton of elves the following turn once we untap. But that is all the creatures in the deck list. Let's move on to our spells and enchantments, that kind of thing. We've got 2 Conclave Tribunals, so we could put in Radiant Destiny if you want to, for more pump, like board-wide pump. But I really think some removal in here is quite needed. A 4 mana enchantment with Convoke, which means we can tap our creatures to pay for this. Whenever it enters the battlefield, exile target non-land opponent and opponent controls until the Conclave Tribunal leaves the battlefield. So very good against control, very good against large threats on their side of the field. We need some type of main board removal, and Conclave Tribunal is going to do that for us. Next up for us, we've got Vanquisher's Banner. We only have 3 of here. A 5 mana artifact. When it enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Creature you control the chosen type get +1/+1. And whenever you cast a creature spell, the chosen type, draw a card. So some people may want to put in Radiant Destiny for this since it's a little bit lower on the curve, meaning that they can get the +1/+1 and get Vigilance for only 3 mana. I like the banner here because we're going to have a lot of mana in the mid to late game, like turn 3, turn 4. So the banner's going to come in and it's going to hit the battlefield. It's going to stay there for a long time, but it's also going to draw us cards whenever we cast a creature spell. So doing the same thing as Beast Whisper. And when these start to pile on top of each other, again, it's kind of a snowball effect. Everything kind of starts coming out over and over again really quickly. And again, if you have a Morrowind on the battlefield, it's just going to pump as well and give you even more mana to cast more creatures. So this is just a ridiculous deck. You can sometimes deck yourself if you're not careful. That's it for all the cards in the main board. Let's go over lands real quick. We've got of course 4 Temple Garden, 4 Sun Petal Grove, and then 4 Plains and 11 Forests. Not as many Plains as Forests, of course, because we only have a handful of white in the deck list as far as main board 1. But let's get into the sideboard here and see what we're talking about for game 2. We've got 2 Sentinel Totems here, so very good against the reanimation deck. Golgari's kind of going around right now being a pretty good reanimation deck. There's also the Golgari Zombies deck as well, and of course the Izzet deck or Jeskai deck, with a lot of jumpstart too. So 1 mana artifact, we get to scry for 1, and we also get to exile this and exile all cards from all graveyards. Since we don't really deal with the graveyard at all in our deck list, Sentinel Totem is fine for us. Next up, we've got some Seal Away here too. In fact, a card that's going to be really good against the mono red aggro list, the other aggro lists, or more mid-rangey lists where they got a Lyra coming in. We're going to use Seal Away and again seal them away so they can't do any damage to our face. Next up, we've got Reclamation Stage coming in. It's an Elf Shaman, so it's very good for us. It's a 3 mana 2/1. When it enters the battlefield, you may destroy target artifact or enchantment. So this is coming in against anything with lots of enchantments, History Battalion decks, that kind of stuff. Green-white enchantments. Very good card against that particular board state. And again, very good against other Conclave Tribunals and other Seal Aways on our opponent's side of the field, so very good for that. Next up, we've got more Conclave Tribunal because, again, if your opponent is playing more mid-rangey or more control-heavy, we may want to bring in more Conclave Tribunal to tap out for creatures. That way we have mana up, just in case they go with the Syncopates, so we can get rid of a Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, or a Karn, or, whatever is on their side of the field we do not like. Next up, we've got Shalai, Voice of Plenty. So again, if we're up against a deck where they have Settle the Wreckage, Shalai, Voice of Plenty is really going to help us out. Also against the Grixis kind of burn decks, or is it burn decks? There is kind of a ton of burn spells right now and targeted removal. Shalai coming in, being just a 2 of in the sideboard here for us, is really good to kind of help combat against that. Obviously, Shalai will be targeted herself, so we really do need to watch out for that. But Having 4 toughness usually means she's going to get by. And also, this has got green mana in the deck list as well, so Shalai being able to, put counters across the entire board state is very good too if Shalai survives for the turn. Next, of course, we've got Meteor Golem. So this is really good because it's just coming in and just destroying something immediately. Good enter the battlefield ability, 7 mana, 3/3. Enters the battlefield, destroy target non-land permanent and opponent controls. It's not like Tribunal where like it kind of removes it until they get rid of Tribunal. It's very good because, again, it's just straight up destroying it. And this is very good against the control decks. This is also very good against the mid-rangey decks where they have a huge creature. We can't really deal with it, and we can't, get a Tribunal on because they have like enchantment removal or enchantment hate, something like that. Meteor Golem is going to come in and just go, boop, you're dead. And the last 2 cards in the sideboard here for us are Peleka Worm. So this is actually very good because it's like going to help us kind of come back from behind if we're behind in a match against another aggressive opponent. A 7 mana, 7/7 with a trample. When it enters the battlefield, we gain 7 life, and whenever it dies, we draw a card. So nothing but value for this card, and it's also got trample. So again, if your opponent has a large board state with lots of stuff gumming it up, you're going to bring in Peleka Worm and just, run over everything on their side of the field. Keep in mind, this is also really good to bring in against Carnage Tyrants because Carnage Tyrants, again, are notorious for kind of running over smaller decks like this where they kind of snowball decks. Carnage Tyrant is a 7/6. This is a 7/7, so they're going to be able to trade against one another, which is quite nice. And we also gain 7 life, so we're not really losing any life when we trade with that. And we're even drawing a card when the Peleka Worm does die. So just a great card all around and useful in various matchups for us. But that is the full 75, guys. So let's get into the matches and see how this deck does. Let's get into the matches, guys, and see how this deck does. Again, this is Selesnya Elves, so lots of really fast creatures for us. Opening hand is going to be 2 lands with some Llanowar Elves. We're definitely going to deal with that, thanks to a Beast Whisperer as well. Tap land for the opponent, going to go Sunpetal Grove off the top. Just continuing to pump out Elves, Clan Collar on turn 2. Could have done the Llanowar Elves as well, but want to be a little bit more aggressive there. Second land for the opponent, we have so many options here. Beast Whisperer is our play here, and then we're just going to crash in for 3. Seeing if they have removal. They do have removal for the Clan Collar. That was the option that I saw that might have been the worst for us, was they had removal. So, I'm going to go Vanquisher's Banner here and see if they have a counterspell. They do. Sinister Sabotage. Let's go Llanowar Elf here and draw a card, thanks to Beast Whisperer, and just get in for 2, dropping them down to 19. Looks like we're up against Esper Control here. Brass's Contempt on that Beast Whisperer. Getting into a land here. Let's just crash in for 3 points of damage with our Llanowar Elves and pass turn back. Search for Ascanta for the opponent. Vanquisher's Banner off the top. Do they have a negate? They don't. We're going to name Vanquisher's Banner Elves and get in for 6. Very nice. We basically have a 3-turn clock thanks to our mana dumpers here. And that's a scoop for the opponent. Wow. I just couldn't deal with it. One of the things for the Esper Control list is if we have a board state of creatures, they usually are out of luck and struggling to kind of catch up there. Bringing in Shalai over Beast Whisperer here at the 4 mana slot, and just hitting some mid here. Could bring in maybe Reclamation Sage if we wanted to for that Search for Ascanta deck destruction, or maybe even the Conclave Tribunal. That's exactly what we do. We bring in Reclamation Sage over the Nurturer there, and hit submit. And again, just making sure we get in as many creatures as we can for the control matchup. 1 mana hand here, but actually this is probably fine thanks to our Llanowar Elves, Pelt Collectors, and a land off the top. Picking Pelt Collector first instead of the Llanowar Elf. 2 lands for the opponent. We're going to go for probably 2 Elves here and get in for 1. Doing this so we can go a little bit wider, a little bit faster, making sure we can get our board state down as quickly as possible. And making sure that if we do play a Clan Collar and it does get countered, we still have 3 points of damage on the field. It doesn't get countered, so let's get in for 6 here. It does get killed though, thanks to Moment of Craving. So down to 18 they go. Didn't hit their land drop. We hit a 4th land. We accidentally played a forest instead of a Sunpetal Grove there, so we have a bit of a misplay here. Pelt Collector being destroyed there thanks to Moment of Craving. We're just going to crash in for 2 here. So we played Forest instead of Sunpetal. We definitely want to play Sunpetal this turn to get out a Amara pre-combat, trying to basically get out a removal spell. Counterspell hitting for the opponent. So let's just crash in for 4, drop them down to 14. Very nice. 4 lands for a Ritual of Soot, the bane of this deck here. Sea Leaves Champion off the top is actually not too bad. They pass turn here. We're going to crash in for 5 and see if they have something. They have Cast Down. Ruh-roh. Getting into land here is not good for us. An opponent slowly pulling ahead with that Chemist's Insight. Ooh, Vona. It's probably going to do it for this match here. Let's go for a scoop and go into game 3. Taking out Vanquisher's Banner and thinking about maybe bringing in Meteor Golem or Conclave Tribunal. We just bring in the Meteor Golem. Hit OK. 2 land hand. That's going to keep for us. Gonna go for Forest and Spell Collector with a Swamp. Forest into Clan Caller and hit for 2. Field of Ruin for the opponent here, so they didn't hit a second land. We're going to go over a Temple Garden here, take 2, and go Marwyn the Nurturer. I like this play over a Mara because we do have a Shalai next turn if we need it. Let's get in for 3 here. See a Moment of Craving to hit the Clan Caller. No problem. Would rather hit the Clan Caller than the Nurturer. Still no green or blue mana for them. I think they're going to go Field of Ruin on the Temple Garden here. We're going to say Plains, and they grab a Swamp. Interesting. Instead of an Island. We're going to go Shalai here and just get in for 3. There's the blue mana. 5 cards in hand. Gonna go Ritual of Soot. Shalai still exists, of course. We're gonna have a Temple Garden coming in tapped. And Amara on main phase 2. Reclamation Sage off the top. Let's get in for 5 here and make a 1/1 with Hexproof. Opponent is down to 8 here. We have a clock. Let's see if they have anything. They need Ritual of Soot or a Vraska's Contempt for that Shalai. They have Ritual of Soot. Nice. We have Thorn Lieutenant. We're just going to crash in for 3 here and then play Thorn Lieutenant and represent lethal next turn. Do they have anything? They do not. That's going to be it for match 1 here. All right, let's get into match 2 here and see what we go up against. Again, against the control matchups, we just got to be faster than them. And once they get to the mid to late game there, if we don't have any answers like Shalai, then we really need them in game 2. Buffing Wilds into a red mana here. Ooh, this is it here? Getting in for Amara. Very nice. And playing out a Marwyn the Nurturer. Let's see here. 2 mana for a Lightning Strike to the Nurturer. Interesting move there for the opponent. Getting in for 3 here and playing the Elf. Pirate's Pillage. Okay. Not sure exactly what this opponent is on here. We're getting in for 3, 4, 5 points of damage. Drop them down to 10. We're going to go Jaya Ballad. Okay, so some weird kind of Is It Spells deck. Arclight Phoenix is the play there. Conclave Tribunal for Jaya, and we're just going to crash in for the win here, I believe. 5. No, we're actually going to crash in for 7 here, or 8 here. Drop them down to 2. And then next turn we have the win. Strike to our face. You don't have anything, do you, opponent? Mission Briefing, okay. Do you have lots of Arclight Phoenixes in the graveyard here? Well, they can bring those back, but it's not going to be enough to deal with all the threats on the board. Let's bring in Sentinel Totem since we see they have lots of graveyard recursion with Jumpstart and Arclight Phoenix. And just hit submit here. Opening hand is 2 lands for us. Sun Petal and Temple Garden is actually not terrible, especially with the Sentinel Totem here. We're going to say yes to that Temple Garden and play a Pel Collector. Opt for the opponent. Tap land for them. We're going to go Sun Petal Grove and go for a Thorn Lieutenant getting in for 2. And then having a Steel Leaf on turn 3 is very good here. We could go for the Sentinel Totem, but we're going to go for the Steel Leaf first and get in for 2. 4 mana for Pirate's Pillage. And again, just lots of value, so we're going to go for the Clan Caller and go Sentinel Totem and get in for 9 points of damage, dropping them down to 7. Do they have anything for this? Arclight Phoenix coming in. 3-2. They can block the 6-5 and take 4, go to 3, but we just drew into Conclave Tribunal, and that's going to do it, most likely. Feels good when you draw a removal off the top. Mission Briefing from the opponent here, probably going to go for an Opt, maybe? Or Shock, yeah. Gotcha. That's still going to do it, though. No problem. Match 3 here. A 1-lander hand. See, we do have lots of land in the deck itself, but when we get 1-lander hands like this, we still are quite at an advantage. Barrier of Bones here, so maybe a Surveil deck. Be a mono black or a black blue. Ooh, there's Togar. Well, you know, there's Pel Collector and Pass. We need a second land drop. Barrier of Bones here. Second land. There's a second land. Sun Petal Grove. Gonna go Amar, get in for 2. Or actually, not get in for 2, but put a counter on each, taking those to 2/2s. 3 land Citrus Supplier coming in. Just got to get around those 0/3s. Another land. We're going to go for a Clan Caller here. can get in for 9. It's your supplier blocking Amara here. Just throw some cards into the graveyard. Blood Operatives as well. Mausoleum Secrets is the card they're going to search for. They have lots of stuff in the graveyard to use for that. So I believe they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 things in the graveyard for the secrets. Lots of stuff. So I'm not really sure what they're going to search up here. But I do know we need lands next turn so we can continue to pump out our board state. But going Clan Caller next turn as well is fine. Blood Operative from the opponent here. Rise from the Grave was the card they picked. Interesting line of play there. Let's just go for a Clan Caller and continue to crash in with our wide board state. Getting in for 12, 13, 14, 15. Down to 12 for the opponent here. That's going to do it for game 1. Nice. Bringing in Sentinel Totem, bringing in Seal Away, and going to do it for us. Taking down a Nurturer there. And just hitting Submit. Now, one of the things is we want to make sure Sentinel Totem is close to our draw here. The opening hand would be fantastic. But let's see what we get. Opening hand is 3 lands and lots of good threats. So I think we're going to keep this, though. Got a Llanowar Elf into a turn 2 Steelleaf Champion. Barrier of Bones there. Keep in mind, the Steelleaf Champion is unblockable against that 0-3 defender. That's very good. So they really need to get rid of the Llanowar Elf here. If they can't, we have a Steelleaf Champion or a Nurturer coming in on turn 2. Let's see what the line of play is. Ooh, land drop and nothing. Let's go for a Forest and just go Steelleaf Champion. Pass turn. Land drop again. Blood Operative. Now that can block the Steelleaf Champion, and they do gain life with that. Let's go Clan Caller into the Pell Collector. And just swing for 6. No blocks. Dusk Legion Zealot. And pass turn back to us. I think we just have the win here. We do. Yep. Nice. Let's get in match 4 here. And again, one of the things is the Steelleaf Champion is just super powerful. We go with the Mulligan there. Pelt Collector off the top. Temple Garden for the opponent coming in tapped. We're going to go land into Llanowar Elf. Again, Llanowar Elves are basically lands for us. Ooh, this looks like the mirror match. Interesting. Let's go for another Llanowar Elf and go for a Pelt Collector. Would love to land off the top for that Beast Whisperer. Did not hit it, but we did hit a Clan Caller, which is almost just as good. Let's get in for 4 here. Down to 16. 4th land for the opponent. Going for Ixalan's Binding on the Clan Caller. Ugh, that hurts. Gonna go Thorn Lieutenant and get in for 3. Really need lands now. Root Dryad for the opponent here. Gonna go Thorn Lieutenant and continue to crash in here if we want to, but they have that 2-3, so we can't really block. But they do have a City's Blessing with the Dryad here. And they also have Tristani. Oh no. Oh no. Our second land finally on turn 6. Beast Whisperer coming in, but by now it's probably too late. 2 cards in hand for the opponent. Knight of Autumn here. Putting some counters on top of it. With the Thorn Lieutenant there. That's going to do it. We've seen enough. Let's go to game 2 here. Bring in Conclave Tribunal. Bring in Seal Away. Take out a Nurturer. And hit Submit. Play first, absolutely. A 1-mana hand, we're going to go for a Mulligan to another 1-mana hand. Sun Petal Grove off the top, that's fine. Let's go for a... probably a Llanowar Elf first. Land drop from the opponent, nothing. Very nice. Let's go Pelt Collector into Amara. Making a 2-2. Merfolk Branchwalker for the opponent. Clan Caller off the top for us. Let's just get in for 6 here. Since they got a land for the Branchwalker. Thorn Lieutenant from the opponent. Llanowar Elf into some more attacks here. They're going to double block on the Amara, which is fine. And then we're going to play out the Thorn Lieutenant. Dawn of Hope from the opponent. Very nice. They don't see anything, so they're going to go with a scoop there. We just kind of came out too explosive for them. And again, just like in these mirror matches, you really have to pay attention to how the board state is handling itself. We go with a Mulligan into an okay opening hand. Conclave on the top, that's fine. Go with a Temple Garden to their Temple Garden. They go with a Llanowar Elf, no second land. We're going to go Thorn Lieutenant, pass. Go with a Merfolk Branchwalker. It does make a 3-2. And they're going to pitch Dawn of Hope into the graveyard. Let's get in for 2-3, and they're going to trade with that, no problem. We'll go Thorn Lieutenant and Llanowar Elf pass. 5 cards in hand into another Thorn Lieutenant for themselves. Land into a Llanowar Elf and Thorn Lieutenant, and you're just going to pass turn here. We have enough mana to pump a Thorn Lieutenant, so no problem there. Sun Petal Grove as well, so we're just going to crash in for 2 Thorn Lieutenants. One is going to block, the other one's going to be pumped and do extra damage to their face, dropping them down to 14. Militia Bugler here, interesting. Looking at a Thorn Lieutenant on the top there. Marwyn the Nurturer on the top here for us. We just want to continue to crash in with creatures here. Now, we could go with a double pump on the Militia Bugler, but they don't want to do that, so they are going to take another 6 to the face, going to 8. Legion's Landing, a very good card against the situation, and a Knight of Autumn. Conclave Tribunal is really going to help us here. Let's see how we want to play this out. Could go with a Llanowar Elf, we could go with a Conclave Tribunal. Let's go Nurturer first into a Llanowar Elf, and then cast the Conclave Tribunal, targeting that Knight of Autumn there. We're going to pass turn. Rastani Discordant. Again, we're kind of going to where the board side's getting gummed up here. Land off the top for us. We could try attacking with the Thorn Lieutenant. They may go with a triple block. Ooh, a quadruple block. Okay. That's fine. We have lots of mana here, so we should be able to bump into it. No problem. And lay a Forest. Immortal Sun from the opponent here, getting in for 4. The Nurturer here for us. We're going to replay that and then make sure that our original Nurturer is now a 3-3. And pass turn here. Tristani making the board state really large, as well as the Immortal Sun, is making this kind of difficult to come back from. Militia Bugler coming in for the opponent, another 4-5. And a Thorn Lieutenant. Again, Thorn Lieutenant for us is being our main blocker. Clan Caller off the top is very good. It does mean that the Nurturer is now a 5-5. We can now pump the Thorn Lieutenant twice in a single turn. The opponent is attacking in for 4, thinking they can get around a Thorn Lieutenant, but we're going to block here. They're going to go with the pump here, and they're not going to realize that we can pump twice. Which is understandable. It's a lot of mana. Make it 11-12. Sun Petal off the top. We're just going to continue to get Clan Callers now. And this is the situation where we're up against a similar deck, almost a mirror match style deck, but we have Clan Callers every single turn now and continue to make our Nurturer larger and larger. They really need to get into removal, but if they don't have any yet, then we'll just play Clan Callers until they're dead. Ixalan's Binding off the top. What are they picking? Thorn Lieutenant here. Interesting. Attacking in with their own Thorn Lieutenant. We're just going to block with that Elf Warrior that they created. I feel like Clan Caller should have been the pick there for them instead of the Thorn Lieutenant. Since we can continue to pump with Clan Caller. We can actually do Clan Caller one more time thanks to the Nurturer here, which is exactly what we're going to do, making our Llanowar Elves 5-5s. We could attack in here, but we don't want to just yet. Actually, we do want to. Yeah, let's get in for 2 here. Getting in for 10. Dropping our opponent down to 4. Keep in mind the Clan Callers are also 4/4s. And that's going to do it. Nice. I'm telling you, I don't know why they didn't pick the Clan Caller with that Ixalan's Binding. Thorn Lieutenant was definitely a threat. Ooh, Dryad off the top. Merfolk Branchwalker as well. They're out of cards. You have such a hard board state to get around again. Such an interesting match here for us. Dryad here. And of course they hit the City's Blessing, so it's a 5-5. Amara for us. And we're kind of in a situation where we want to just start attacking in like a madman. Let's see here. Llanowar Elves getting in as well as the Nurturer. The Llanowar Elves trading with that Sapperling. Branchwalker blocking the Nurturer. And the Buglers blocking the Llanowar Elves. No problem. Should be able to win on the... another Dryad. Oh no, these are 7/7s now. And they make 2 of them this turn. But I think we actually outmatched them as far as power on the field. All you need to do is just go with an Alpha Strike this turn and we should have it. Yep, it looks like opponent also sees a lot of play and they're going to scoop it up as well. Nice. Alright, get into match 5 here. Man, that was such a fun match. I really appreciate all of the heavy creature kind of decks right now in the format. 3 land hand into a Pel Collector, no problem. Going into anywhere else from the opponent. Temple Garden going to say no and pass turn here. Overgrown Tomb. All right, going to go for a Nurturer. This looks like maybe another Elf-style deck. Nurture for ourselves, no problem. Adventurous Impulse, interesting. Really like that card for Elves, but ultimately decided against it. This is another mirror match here. Not necessarily a mirror match, because I've got black as well. 4 mana for us. Let's go Thorn Lieutenant. Make a Pelt Collector a 2/2. And pass turn here. Making our board state a little bit larger. The Nurturers have 4/4 now, so they can attack in with that. But let's go Vanquisher's Banner and name Elf here. And pass turn. They're going to go for another Clan Caller. And this is sort of the situation where we're kind of on the back foot now, and we're probably going to be losing this match thanks to the Clan Caller being able to get out more Clan Callers and the Nurturer being on the field as well. So I think we might want to scoop up here if opponent plays something else. Oh, they played removal for the banner here. Another Clan Caller coming in. Getting in for 4. Ouch. Land for us. Looks like we're going to go for Beast Whisperer. And pass turn here. Thinking about scooping up, though. Yeah, we're going to scoop. Taking out Vanquisher's Banner, bringing in Seal Away. Bringing in another Conclave Tribunal. And probably just hit Submit here. Thinking about maybe bringing in some another Conclave Tribunal by taking out the Nurture, but I think we're probably fine with our situation now. Let's go first here. 2 land hand. We're going to keep it, especially with that Temple Garden there. Let's go with the Pelt Collector and pass. Anywhere else for the opponent. Sun Petal Grove into a Amara, getting in for 2. No problem. Yeah, we just now need to be faster. Steel Leaf Champion for the opponent here. Green mana into probably our own Steel Leaf Champion. Seems good. And making a 3/3 thanks to the Pelt Collector. Pass turn for the opponent. Now they have black mana, so we could see Assassin's Trophy. That's really the only thing that I'm kind of seeing here if they have black mana. Thorn Lieutenant from the opponent, passing turn here. We go Temple Garden, take the 2, go for Clan Caller, as well as Imara here. Keep in mind, Pelt Collector is a 4/4. And we have a 6/5. They took both of those damages there. Interesting. Holding up the mana now, kind of saying we might want to go Seal Away. We didn't replay the Amara because, of course, Amara is legendary. Passing turn for the opponent with another Thorn Lieutenant on the battlefield. We're going to steal our Temple Garden. Going to go Beast Whisperer here. And just crash in with the 6/5 to see if they want to trade with that Steel Leaf Champion. They do want to trade. No problem. We're very close to being able to Clan Caller into another Clan Caller. But they're going to scoop it up. Nice. Let's get into game 3 here. Let's see. I'm just going to bring in another Tribunal here. Let's see. 3 land hand with a Collector and Clan Caller. Very good. Pelt Collector into another Collector for ourselves. 5 mana hand. They don't see anything. Nice. It looks like opponent may have kept a 1 land hand and needed more mana, and they did not get into it. And that is it for all the matches. Hope you did like it. Like it if you like it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And of course, let me know, like I said in the beginning of the video, let me know what decks you want me to cover in the comments down below. I'm still trying to cover some modern decks, so tomorrow I feel like we're probably covering Bant Spirits, because we're trying to keep the Halloween themes kind of spooky on Wednesdays. So trying to keep the modern decks kind of Halloween themed. But yeah, really love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel for more awesome MTG content just like this. And make sure to tap the bell icon to be notified whenever a video is made live. If you want to keep watching content, here are 2 more videos for you. This video and many others are sponsored by MTGO Traders and Cape Fear Games. Buy and sell digital singles to build your online collection today with MTGO Traders, and get your paper singles, accessories, and much more from Cape Fear Games. Whatever your magic needs, both places have you covered.